Hello friends, welcome you all. I am Sundar from Symphonia Wealth. Today what we are going to see is what is the recipe of creating wealth. So we all have heard about the word recipe when it comes to cooking, right? Assuming you want to make a cup of coffee. So what are the ingredients you need? You need milk, you need coffee powder and maybe some sugar. So with this ingredient only you can make coffee. And everyone wants to create wealth, right? But what is the ingredient of creating wealth? Until you know what is the ingredient of creating wealth, there is a high chance you will not actually progress and make that wealth. So I am going to tell a very simple and a very powerful formula, and which you can actually implement, and you can actually make a very good coffee. In fact, you can actually create a very good corpus for yourself and create wealth. So the formula which I have shown on the screen, you all would have seen, you would have all studied in your school. It's called the compounding formula. So there are three very important factors when it comes to this formula. So I'm going to explain a little bit on that formula. So the formula is P into 1 plus R by 100 the whole power n. So we all know that, right? What is P? P is the first ingredient. P is the principal or the amount how much you're going to invest. Next comes R. R is the rate of return at which your investment is going to grow. And N. N is the number of years you are willing to stay in the investment. So if all these three things come together, then only you can actually create wealth. So this is the ingredient. So you should have your principal, you should have your return, you should also have your time. Okay, so now let's understand, out of these three ingredients, as an investor, how many are under your control? What is in your control is naturally the amount how much you can invest, and second is how much time you can give, and the third is the rate of return. And the rate of return is one thing which is not in anyone's control, we all know that. But in general, investors always focus on what is the return I will make out of this investment. So instead of focusing on the return, of course return is important, but whether we like it or not, it is not under our control. So as everyone says, focus on what is controllable. So the controllable part is the principle of how much you can invest and how long you can wait in the investment. Recently one investor called me and he was saying that I can actually invest for long term, and he said he can invest up to 3 years time. So I smilingly told that 3 years is definitely not long term. In fact, it is more of a short term. Long term means it could be 20 years, 30 years and 50 years. So similarly, when it comes to investing, so I have shown you a very important calculation. Assuming you are investing 5,000 rupees, which is the principal part every month, like a SIP, and you are investing for 10 years, which is the number of years. Okay, 10 years is generally people don't invest even for 10 years. I am just taking 10 years and say the rate at 12%, which means you would have created a corpus of about 11 lakhs. Instead of that, instead of investing 5,000 rupees, if you can invest say 20,000 rupees and stay instead of 10 years for 25 years, and assuming the rate remains the same at 12%, you would have actually created a corpus of almost 3.5 crores. So this is the formula for wealth creation. As I told you earlier, investing 20,000 rupees against a 5,000 rupees is actually in your hand. Of course, the next question is, I should have that 20,000 to invest, right? So the most important part we need to look at is, it is not the rate of return, it is actually the savings rate which we should focus on. What is that savings rate? Savings rate is what is your income and how much are you saving. The thumb rule is you should save at least 30% of your income. Assuming you are earning say 1 lakh rupees a month, you should be saving at least 30,000 rupees a month. Instead of 30,000, if you are saving say only 5,000 rupees, which means your saving rate is only 5%. So if your saving rate is high, and naturally if you can also wait for a longer period of time, and generally most of us start working at the age of 25 on an average, and even if you plan to retire at the age of 50, you have a 25-year kind of a time frame, which means time is in your hand for sure, and the savings rate is also in your control. And historically, Indian markets have actually generated 16% plus kind of return. So fortunately, we are in India where we actually can control the investment also the time, and if we do this, the rate of return is generally given by the market. And fortunately, India being one of the fastest growing economies, I think expecting a 12% plus kind of a return is a high possibility. So believe in India growth story and participate in it. So focus on what is controllable, and the rest of the things will fall in place. So very simple recipe to create wealth for you. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.